Hi everyone. It is always such an honor and a privilege to be able to speak on behalf of those kids like Polly Claus that cannot no longer speak for themselves. Mr. Claus, your daughter lives in our hearts, and her death is not in vain. She is one of many who gives us what she needs inside to fight this battle. Let it be known that us kids are fighting back, and we have God and the power of government behind us. We have men like Mark Green who have our back and will fight to protect us. Mark Green has fought for me and for kids like me who have been hurt in many ways that sometimes is just too hard to understand. Mark Green is a warrior and a hero to abused victims like me across the whole country. His values and leadership make him our kids and family choice for governor. Mark, thank you for hearing our voice. Thank you from our kids like Polly Claus and Jessica Lunsford. Thank you from the kids who won't be so afraid or ashamed to come forward now. Thank you from the kids and family who knows that their abusers will be held accountable for it. And thank you from the kids like me who found that life after abuse is full of purpose and good things. You are going to be a great governor.
Mark Green reached out to me as he reached out to the Zylas 10 years ago. I was in Green Bay, Wisconsin on my never-ending and relentless campaign to create a safer world for children. And I had a meeting with Mark at that time, and we had a lengthy discussion about a lot of different issues. And he contacted me some weeks later and told me that he had written a 2-strike bill for sexual predators in Wisconsin, pretty much based on the conversations that we had had. And at that point, I thought, this guy really can get things done, can't he? I mean, a lot of people talk the talk, but how many people really walk the walk? He was a state representative at that time. He wrote the bill based on the presumption that one can be falsely accused or falsely convicted one time for these kinds of crimes, but if it happens again, then you've established patterns of behavior. You've established that you are a pedophile if you are continually going after young children, and you then spend many years in prison. When Mark went to the Congress, he took that concept and he made it law at the federal level. And he's been working on behalf of children, on behalf of families, on behalf of courageous young women like Amy for as long as I've known him. And he's done it with dedication, he's done it with intelligence, and he's done it with a relentless desire to make sure that what he wants to get done gets done, and he continually does that. It never ceases to amaze me, the integrity in this man. And when I heard that he was running for governor, 2 things went through my mind. First, it's a great loss to the United States Congress, because we've seen, it doesn't matter what we've seen, does it? But you know what? I've testified before Mark's committee in the judiciary on several occasions. I've worked with him as he's a member of Congress since he's been there since 1998. He's been very supportive of the things that I've been trying to do. He's certainly helped me move my agenda forward, and I like to think that my agenda is an agenda for all children. And I think that without a champion like Mark in Congress, without a man of his integrity in Congress, that much less would be getting done. And that's certainly not to discount the great work of Chairman Sensenbrenner or any of the other wonderful members of Congress, because Chairman Sensenbrenner said that the Adam Walsh Children's Safety Act was one of the great achievements of this last Congress. I think it may be the defining achievement of this last Congress, because it used to be, not that long ago, when I met Mark, that predators were our worst nightmare. I didn't sleep for 10 years thinking about these guys because they took my daughter. And I'm sure he went through a similar situation because of what happened to his daughter. But that dynamic has changed. Because of this piece of legislation that both of these fine men worked so hard on, we now are their worst nightmare. There's no way they'll be in prisons for long periods of time. They'll be civilly committed. If it's determined that they can't reintegrate, they will be wearing GPS devices. Law enforcement will have better tools. The public will have better tools. Everything's different. There's no place to hide anymore. If you've got access to the internet, you're going to know who these characters are. You're going to know what they're capable of, and it's because of the work of these gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce the next great governor of this great state, Mr. Representative Mark Green.
But let me also say that I'm so honored to be here with all of you and Citizens for a Safe Wisconsin, the folks who have come together here in Franklin and other communities to take back their streets, to take back their schools and their neighborhoods, and make sure that tragedies like Polly's and Amy's don't occur anymore. I salute all of you, because at the end of the day, you are the folks who are going to make the biggest difference. And so I'm proud to be up here before all of you. We have accomplished a lot, I believe, in these last Congresses in protecting kids. But as the story of Billy Lee Morford shows, we have a lot of work to do. We know that because laws in the past were very different, we know that there are still bad guys out there who should not be out there. I can tell you very simply that if a violent sex offender like Billy Lee Morford is ever released, and I'm governor, there will be one place that he will not be allowed to go, and that's into neighborhoods like the ones here in Franklin. Billy Lee Morford is one of the nation's most notorious sex criminals. He committed sexual assault with children at least 4 times since the 1960s. Those are the convictions. And statistics tell us it was most likely many more times than that. There is nothing worse than stealing the innocence of a child. Nothing. You know, folks, Jim Sensenbrenner and I are limited government conservatives. We don't want our government to do one whole heck of a lot. Keeping our kids safe is why we create it. This is why government exists, to keep our streets safe, and our schools safe, and our neighborhoods safe. If we can't do that, then government is of no value whatsoever. I want to make something very, very clear, because every now and then I see politicians out there pointing fingers and blaming bureaucracy. And when you're governor, the buck stops on your desk. And I can tell you with absolute certainty, I will instruct my Department of Health and Family Services to not allow visitations like the ones that we saw with Billy Lee Morford right here in Franklin, and especially, I will make absolute certain that we notify community leaders and notify law enforcement so they can take the steps they need to take, and to warn parents so the parents are forearmed and forewarned.